and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, coming at to you from my Historic Brawl vacation. Yep, I'm on vacation, but you still get videos. How hype is that? Remember to check out the official MTG Arena channel and CoolStuffInc.com for standard videos. You're still getting at least 2 a week of those, if that's what you're looking for. But we're here to talk about Niv-Mizzet Reborn. And this is an amazing 5-color commander that is a ton of value on a giant dragon body in the command zone. The only ask is that you play multicolored spells. This is one of the more competitive decks in the format, competing in the Hell Queue, the S tier, the mythic of Historic Brawl, and you go up against the best, which means a lot of blue decks and a lot of counter spells. So my approach to Niv-Mizzet Reborn is to play the very best interactive gold cards that we can. This is a control deck, masquerading a little bit as a slight ramp and dragon deck, but really deep down you can see that all these multicolored cards that we fetch are control cards, hand hate cards, counter spells, removal, card draw. That is what it's all about, and we use Niv as our primary source of card advantage. Now, in a field full of blue decks, resolving a 5-mana commander is not easy, so you will see a suite of counterspell magic to get the job done, like Pact of Negation, Miscast, Swansong, Wash Away, etc. Veil of Summer. Hand hate cards like Thoughtseize, Mindspike, Inquisition, Duress to take the counterspell out of their hand. This is necessary because resolving our commander is our path to victory. But once we do, and we get that card advantage, we take over the game with powerful planeswalkers and our 6/6 mighty dragon. I think that you guys will really enjoy this deck. It's highly competitive. It's 5 colors. It's a ton of fun. Let's dive in. Let the Niv-Mizzet Reborn nonsense begin. All right, we are on the play. We're got the Pact in the opener, which isn't great, but at least by the time we have 5 mana, we can use it. We've got Explore. We've got a Helix that's castable. We've got a Prismari Command that's castable. We keep. We're up against Torbran. They're going to come fast and furious. This is mono red. 1 color versus 5. Who will be the champion? Soulscar Mage already on the board. Let's get that Explore cast. Much to the delight of the red mage who sees us. They see us taking that too. They're already counting their victory. Gatekeeper with a sorcery in the graveyard. Nasty, but we don't have any other sorceries in our hand. So whenever we play a sorcery, 2 damage. Does that cast Niv-Mizzet? White, black, red. Nope. Because this blue-white land and then this blue and this white, it will not cast Niv. That's something to keep in mind. Do we want more blue on the board or white? Blue. The treasure will. The treasure will. So I think that's our plan. Let's see what their turn 3 is like. Seasoned Pyromancer. Decent card, but more of a value card. It can put a lot of pressure on. All right, pick off the Gatekeeper. I think that's right. The Soulscar Mage might be the right target, but I don't want to take any damage from the Gatekeeper that I don't have to. All right, here's a dragon. If they go for Torbran, it won't be enough. And we hit 2, which isn't great, but a 6/6 against mono red should hold things very, very well. We also have Pact if they just go for it, and they do. Do we Pact this? It does blank their whole turn, but then they get their next turn, but they don't have the Torbran. I think we Pact this. It's also just lethal, so that helps. Goodbye, mono red. Not in this format. Our opponent is playing Teferi Time Raveler. We're on the play. It's 4 mana to scary. I'm okay with it, though. I'm not going to run away yet. I'm honestly debating just shocking in this land, because you never know. Swansong in this format, you gotta just have things available. I guess we're going to explore, as we'll do it with the Confluence. And then we're going to play you tapped. I loved how I shocked in to hold up Swan Song on turn 1, then didn't hold it up on turn 2 when I could have. Just smart gameplay. All right, I go for the lantern. You gonna counter the lantern? With Dovin's veto, okay. Well, fine. It's countered. You got it. They clearly have no intention of letting things resolve at all. All right, well, they got out Urza, and we have to debate whether or not to take this opportunity to get out our commander, or do we have to kill the Urza? Remember, next turn they get to play Teferi. Now, I don't have an easy solution to the Teferi, but I do have Minsc and Boo. And if they minus Teferi and attack Minsc and Boo, Minsc is at 2, Minsc creates a token, Minsc pluses on the token, kills the Teferi, and is still not dead to Urza. So this is the play for me. It's a very, very, very powerful planeswalker that is hard to deal with. Yeah, if they play Teferi here and bounce the token, I think we win. Because we get to be Devil, the Urza, or the Teferi. We get to hold up Swan Song to protect Minsc and Boo. They're so far behind now. Alright, who to kill and with what? If we be Devil, we still have Swan Song and assemble the team open. I guess I'll start with assembling the team then, right? Can I still? Yes, I can. I can do it all. Because we don't know exactly what our options will be, although a Teferi looks really nice here. Is there anything better than that? Wash Away? Veil of Summer is probably the best card possible. Alright, be Devil. Take out Urza. Kill your Teferi.
We will meet again.
All right, so they need like Hero of Dominaria right here. Is the card that could get them back in it potentially. And even that card will be under immense pressure. They've got the one who slows sunsets. Okay. And they're going to dig. Good sign. Reeks of desperation. All right, let's get the cards rolling. Kill it. We have protection if they try to remove it with this trigger on the stack. It's not a sacrifice trigger. It's a planeswalker trigger, so they could respond there if they had something. So it's why it's important to have protection. Cards. I love cards. Play the river. Why not? Whew. Oh, yeah. Oh, I feel good. I feel real good. Let's go ahead and discard one of these lands. Look at this hand. This is a control mage hand. We're going to let that go. We can fracture it later. We're going to scry. I mean, it better be good. Sunset Revelry. So right now this is going to draw a card and gain the life. It's a full value Revelry. We'll go ahead and fight that with a miscast. Keep the Veil to protect Minsc and Boo, maybe our Planeswalker. Oh no. Oh no, not like this. Not like this. Not losing to your own commander, not like this. Oh. Yeah. Time Raveler. I hear it's a good card. Our opponent is playing Sythis. This hand is not great, but it has the best card against Sythis that there is, which is Farewell. So I'm keeping it. I would mulligan it if this were any other card in the deck, I think. The Swan Song might be good if we can get an untapped blue, but I don't want to name blue with the Crossroads. I kind of need to name green. Yeah. So, like, I could name blue and untap this and then Swan Song their Sythis, but if I don't name green here, what am I doing, right? But it does mean also we don't do anything next turn, which is tough. So maybe I want to play this next turn and play this so that I have Swan Song and Thoughtseize for turn 2. Yeah, as usual, they start with a card advantage machine. That is Sythis Harvest Hand. Not a good draw. All right, green. Now we need double white because we don't have that yet. Dovin's Veto. I think we'll be too far behind for this to be a good card, so let's bottom. All right, we can either counter their next enchantment and give them a bird, or we can Thoughtseize them. Let's take a chunk out of them with Thoughtseize. Curse of Silence, we can get rid of that, but it is the cheapest enchantment. Yeah, I think we get rid of the cheap one because every enchantment here draws them a card. This Dryad is a problem. I wish we can counter it. Maybe they'll not play it. Okay, they played Courser, good. So next turn we can counter that Dryad, because when they're hitting their land drops, thanks to Sythis' card draw, the Dryad is a problem. So we pass here and counter something, then cultivate. It's not the 5 mana card we need to play, it's the 6 mana card. So cultivate next turn is fine, and cultivate next turn if we grab an island can still have a blue up, but we do have to watch out. We need 2 white. Okay, that's good. That can be our untapped blue source. So we grab white and white. Put 1 on the battlefield, 1 into hand. Shock this into play. We've got Swan Song open if we need it. If they do anything that hurts us too badly. They play the Lantern. They play a Courser, that's all fine. It's time to say goodbye. Or is it? Let's think. If we farewell now, they just replay the Sythis. I don't have an easy way to deal with it. Whereas if I wait 1 more turn, if I have 1 more land, I can Swan Song it. I can take their Elspeth Conquers Death so they can't use it and play Teferi, which they might try to attack, but if it draws us the land, it's totally worth it. I could also play this, which if they Elspeth Conquers Death, it is a disaster. So we have to take the ECD, but we can't do that and play Reborn. All right. Let's see what we draw. They do have 5 damage, which is enough to attack Teferi, but they might be afraid to. It might feel like they have to use a spell on it. I would love it if they use this Borrowed Time on it. So we got to untap some threatening looking lands. They have to be very threatening looking. Grixis colors. Ah, they just attack it. Okay, I was really hoping they Borrowed Time it. I mean, they have 2 enchantments there. Each of playing them draws a card, but they played around it. All right, once again, we wait. They're not doing anything with their spells. So what do we need here? Double green. We have double blue. We have triple blue. We have double black. We have double white. It's red or green. We'll take the green. And I think I'll play the Oracle, because if they Borrowed Time it, good. Also, the sooner we get the Power 9 in our deck, the more we can draw them. Also, the more they play this turn, the better. They got a Calyx? Oh, no. Oh, that's... Oh, no. Oh, no. A Planeswalker can't be farewelled. That was like the worst possible. Oh, maybe they'll play the Archon instead. Come on, Archon. Nope.
Those who follow their destiny.
And they get a Wolf Willow Haven. They can play that.
Gifts of the gods.
All right. They have Binding now. Yeah, they had a better turn than I would have liked, that's for sure. So I could Urtai this, but I think the time has definitely come. Power 9 part 2. Hopefully we draw some. Sythis, come on out. Okay, Archon first, whatever. Oh, they're playing around it. I guess we can't counter the Sythis then. We gotta counter the binding. Don't know if that's good. Bounding gold, huh? That doesn't deal with anything relevant. Gotta get that off the board. It's becoming a disaster. Don't see any way to amplify damage, so we can probably get another turn here. I just don't think it's going to matter too much. You never know. I could draw 2 time walks. They're in there. Sigil. Man, my farewell isn't going to be enough. Did I play this bad, or did they just draw that well? We knew their hand. They did nothing on that turn. The next turn, they just popped off and played like 15 things. And we were dead. It's pretty sad. I guess I need to draw Supreme Verdict. And this won't do it, so... Draw 2, make treasure. Nox Sapphire. Sad. Ah! Alright, well, I had the best card, but I still didn't have a good start, and then I tried to slow roll it for value, and it turned out that I gave them too much value when I slow rolled it. So, probably on me, although it's hard to see. I definitely needed a spot to land Niv. That was good. The Calyx was the perfect draw. Like, if they had anything other than that, we would have had a spot to land Niv. It's a 5-color showdown. Esika, God of the Tree, Prismatic Bridge. This hand doesn't actually deal with it, but it does have Assemble the Team, which should probably find at least one way to blow up the bridge or counter it. Verdict, probably not great here. Scorn, probably not great here. But the important thing is the Command Tower, the best land that we could possibly have in the opener. And Teferi, of course, is Teferi, so we'll keep it. Mono green Esika? Nope, green red. Okay, just checking, opponent. You're scaring me over there. Let's assemble this team and find a way to deal with that bridge. So, options, binding, very good one. Dispute, only 1 mana, pretty epic. Command, Knight of Autumn, definitely does the job. Dovin's Veto can do the job. I mean, yeah, there's no shortage of ways to keep this bridge from hurting me. So what's the best one? Yeah, in theory this, but it steps on Teferi's toes, which already steps on Niv's toes. Binding is a good value, but I don't think it's the way. Let's grab the Mystical Dispute. They're double forest opener, though. They're only representing 3 colors. Guardian Project. It's weird. Is it when you cast? It's when it enters the battlefield, so a counter will help us. It might be much more of a creature deck than I expected. You never know what you'll get with Esika, but typically it's Prismatic Bridge bringing out Planeswalkers. Typically. The Loyal Bodyguard. I can Tyrant Scorn it, so we will. Unfortunately, they're going to get a lot of this Guardian Project value for a while. But it does imply that they might play the front side of Esika. Like this is legendary creatures. Kind of like a, who's that commander? Joda. Kind of like Joda the Unifier, but with Esika instead. They defend it? Okay. You got it. Wow. Sure. I really like this card. Bedevil. Sweet card, but does not help against the project. Also don't have enough black to cast it. I think I can still, yeah, if this is black, red, black, red, green, blue. We still need a white? A white or a black to cast Niv? So maybe I was supposed to play the Triumph there? Anyway, they're going for this. Let's just say no, because obviously it's an important part of what they do. They're willing to defend the Bodyguard to defend the Esika. We've got to make this difficult. And they are missing the land. Binding. Yep. Get rid of that Guardian project. Too much value, apparently. This is a much different deck than I'm used to facing from Esika. I gotta forget what I think I know. Yeah, what the heck? It's Devotion to green. Each other creature you control enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter. Okay. Definitely not what I thought I knew. Let's get the Sultai Triome. Niv is on the table and probably the play. Yeah. It's good stuff. All right. Can play you tapped. Move to discard. I think we just drop Uro in the bin where we can bring it back soon. Here's a dragon. It's gonna get Death Touch. It's an elk. Still no answer here to an enchantment right this minute. We could Teferi tuck it, but that's never exactly what you're going for. However, Supreme Verdict could do it. Just remember that they can protect their legendary creatures with the Loyal Bodyguard. Blizzard Brawl it too? Interesting. All right. One of my favorite tricks that I run when I have an Uro or a Croxa in the graveyard is do not put your commander back in the command zone unless you plan to cast it next turn for some reason. I see very few people catch this, but you can use it as Uro food and then put it in the command zone. Blackblade Reforged. Oh, man. Yeah. Legendary creatures matter for sure here. All right. Do I have enough black and red mana yet for this Bedevil? I have 1 black, 2 black, red, and then I have... Nope. Still don't have enough to cast the Rampage and the Bedevil. I think it's time to make them choose, though. We definitely want to use this red mana this turn, somehow. All right. The God of the Hunt gets it. So what does this leave us? 2 mana. 3 mana once we drop the Snow-Covered Plains. And it can cast the Prismari command to blow up Blackblade Reforged. All right. Just make sure I don't have a way to get it back. Kolaghan's Command is the other card that can get it back from the graveyard in the deck. All right, now we move Niv to the command zone. Uro. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the Uro video so much. So by playing in an open queue like Historic Brawl, I get to kind of feel the meta impact when I make a deck a lot more than I do playing in Mythic, which sounds like all kinds of humble brags, but it's just kind of the way the ladder works. And it was really wild, honestly, seeing how much Uro, like I think I queued into Uro like 9 out of 10 games yesterday when that video came out. So glad you guys liked it. It's what a broken card. I believe Yasharn turns off Hajar. Players can't pay life or sacrifice non-land permanents to cast spells or activate abilities. Yeah, this turns off the Loyal Bodyguard. That could matter. Vivian. Okay. So that is a 3/3 beast counter.
I love it, Coria. I love making...
Does this protect planeswalkers? Just creatures. All right. So we want to destroy an artifact. Then what? Do we want a treasure? Do we want to do 2 to Vivian? Does that somehow let us kill Vivian easier? Like sending Minsk and Boo after her? I don't think so. I think I'll just take the treasure. Could also go for the mana source, but I think we just want the mighty sword off the battlefield. That thing can hit really hard. Vanishing Verse takes care of Vivian. Again, we've got to actually look at our mana carefully, which, you know, some people like that kind of gameplay. I think I'll lead with Yasharn, and then I should still have mana for Bedevil and Verse, right? Red, red, black, black, white. Yep. Yasharn makes it so the Uro trigger drops a land. And also, like we mentioned, shuts off Hajar. Shuts off my treasure too, but I think that will be fine for now. We'll hold this because we might cycle it. Chump. Okay. Verse. Or Teferi. Oh, Teferi and Verse probably.
That's it. I'm done.
Let's go. Untap 2. And I think opponent's tapping out. Yeah, interesting build of Esika. Had me backpedaling a little bit, but once we got to this part of the game where we're casting multiple mythics a turn, they're not going to stand up to that. Speak of the devil, it is Uro, the Titan of Nature's Wrath. We are on the play with a hand that doesn't cast this Thought Erasure. Doesn't cast much of anything. Well, let's take the mulligan. We can probably do better. Wow, is this even worse? Yeah, if we don't draw land, this is a disaster. The only castable card in it is Fracture. But if we do draw land, it's fine. It's gotta be, let's see. It's gotta be a blue, a black, or a green land. I'm gambling. Card, we can't go down cards against Uro very much. And Farewell is pretty good because it can hit the graveyard and make them start their Uro over. It's one of the few ways to actually get to and tax Uro if it resolves. If this is out, does their Uro stay? Guess I've never seen that interaction. I was thinking about it in the last game where I had both, but it didn't come up. Hey, that was easy. Guess I may as well shock and... may as well not shock, right? I have nothing I can play except for maybe the Fracture. And they only have one thing I could Fracture, which is the Arcane Signet. Okay, still can't Thought Erasure. I kind of want a Thought Erasure before I cultivate. Is that crazy? Nah, we're doing okay. Let's just go for it and get it countered. You got to get through all their counters somehow, somewhere. It also opens us up to just draw well, try to play Yasharn, get that countered. He slammed Uro quick. I'm usually sitting. It might mean they don't have more counter spells. Or it might just mean they're aggro. By the way, they played Lofty Denial, which Uro doesn't fly. So that's an interesting inclusion for sure. They have Pact of Negation in their hand. Good to know. You could pack this. I'd love to see that. Now we got to try to set up a Niv to resolve. Not easy. All right, 2 cards went back on top. Do they have their land? They do. Pass turn. Crossroads off the top. This is probably a turn where we want to do the Thought Erasing. Still can't? I was on the play, right? I think I was. So this needs to be blue or black. We could also go for Niv. I just don't think that's going to resolve. When in doubt, go blue. Pulse, not good. They don't have many permanents. Once Uro is out, you know, that's a permanent, but you don't want a sorcery speed answer to that. And they've only got 2 cards graveyard right now. All right, their Pact is online. Whoa! Wait, that wasn't in the graveyard? They had that in command? And they tapped out for it? Holy cow. Really? All right, does this mean Uro stays? No. Sacrifice it. They can't pay life or sacrifice non-land permanents to cast spells or activate abilities. That's not... Okay, it's not a spell... It's not casting the spell, and it's not activating the ability. That's why. Reading the card explains the card. Sure it does. You keep telling yourself that. All right, so they're going to pact my Niv. The good news is we have enough lands to just cast it again. So we'll resolve it next turn as long as they don't have like a mystical dispute. Or we could thought erase the pact, but then they're just going to have a lot of mana up for the foreseeable future. It's frustrating because it means that, you know, I take their turn, they take my turn, the next turn we go for it again. If they have a mystical dispute, we're so wrecked. But, I mean, we are attacking. I just wish I had the mana to do this and cast Niv, and I have it next turn. I could also farewell the graveyard here. That is a use of time. It might be the only time to resolve the farewell. That means at some point they have to pay 7 for their Uro. I think that's good for us. That means we'll have another opportunity where they tap low. And by then, we can have Thought Erasure Niv. Triumph, sure. Here comes Yasharn. So far, every time they've had to cast Uro, they've just done it. So there's a chance next turn for 7 mana that they're just going to do it. Okay. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It does mean we can Thought Erasure. Yeah, we can do it this turn. Right? Can I blue, black, and I can't blue, black, and then still cast Niv. Okay. All right. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Well, they packed this. I still think they're going to tap out for this Uro next turn. It's the pattern they've shown us. So disallow, make disappear, mystical. They had the dispute. Yeah, they had the dispute, didn't they? All right. All right, take the pact. Humiliation. Turns off Uro, but then they just get it back. So, nope, not good enough. Let's get another black. Mana's been clunky. All right, this is a tapped land. They need an untapped land to play the Uro. They've got a million cards, but they don't do much unless we do something. So that's the bright side. That's Mr. Brightside. Their commander is very expensive. That's good. That can help a lot. This can help. Come on, Uro. Come on out. Oh my god, what a draw. Okay. Well, actually, I think we can do this. So target there. We fracture. How much do you have? Depends what they use to counter this fracture, right? All right. Let's see which counterspell they play. It's got to be the disallow. Has to be. Because we can pay for everything else. We can mystical dispute that. It let it go? Unreal. Unreal. Okay. I needed more than this. Okay. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have a mystical dispute and a way to pay for their mystical dispute. They have enough mana for disallow and mystical dispute. So we just have to hit their disallow and pay for their mystical dispute, right? And we can do it. We can do it. We can do it. But what if they sack the forest and double make disappear? We got to play this land out. Okay. Got it. Not worried about witness protection. We'll find a way to blow that up. Just got to resolve our Niv and refill our coffers. We need some card advantage here. I'll just pay. Yeah, and they know it. So they hold the dispute. Wow. Oh, baby. That's what I'm talking about. All that flooding was for a purpose. Seven mana for Uro. We could counter it and they could draw a card. I think we let it go. No land drop either. And just green mana open. They're going to get Teferi'd. Wait till end step. And then I'm going to nuke that forest. Yeah, they're toast. This Teferi is going to come down, and I'm not letting it go anywhere. The River's Rebuke. The River's Rebuke is a pain, but it just resets this stuff. We just get to play it again. It's no big deal. Ah, the big bad. It's Kinnan, and our hand is not functional, so we got a mulligan. And, all right, we've got blue mana dispute. The Kolaghan's command, we can cast it. Okay. Yep, this can give Kinnan some nightmares. Start on open blue. Got to be ready to counter that Kinnan at a moment's notice. Sometimes they play it first. Sometimes they play a bunch of mana creatures first. Whatever they do, you got to be ready. And the first battle begins. Let's see the counter for the counter opponent. No. Cool. Cool. Didn't expect that. Got another mana creature? Oh, an artifact? Wonderful. All right. Unleash the power of Kolaghan's command. I mean, this is what you got to do to Kinnan. You got to cut off every angle. The mana creatures have to die. The Kinnan has to die. The large creatures that come out when they finally do draw their lands have to die. The Oracle's gonna have to die, although they don't hit land on top, do they? Still think it has to die. Everything has to die. So this is gonna be green and white, and we already have a green and white to get it. So this should probably be black? Black or blue, and we already have a blue only. Black. Turns on Bedevil. Sure. I don't know if I'll have time to play the Yasharn next turn. Because there, guess what? The Savella, yeah, you guessed it, the Savella has to die. Although, if I wait a turn, and this is the temptation, right? If I wait a turn, Yasharn here draws me a card. Oh, I'm not one to turn that down, am I? Could also Niv there. All right. They don't like me drawing cards. I get it. We'll keep a hand that has Explore, hope to hit some more lands, and it's a 5-color showdown again. Golos, Tireless Pilgrim. In this deck, in this matchup, we are usually the control deck. We're the control in most matchups. Uro, obviously, we have to be a bit of the beatdown and sneak our commander through. In this matchup, they're usually going to do all kinds of busted things and try to get to spin Golos wheels, and we have to stop them. Very lucky. Love being lucky. Signet for the opponent. If they have a swan song for this, it's a disaster. Or Spell Pierce. Wow. Okay, they had it. Guess I should have Inquisitioned. Guess I should have done that. Night of Autumn, though. See if we can take out their Signet and slow them down. That was their only piece of interaction. Cool. All right, the stuff in their hand is probably expensive and terrifying. And not something Inquisition will probably hit. I think we need to try to find more blue and black magic. We have a Swords for the first Golos. All right, blue, black, excellent. We could also take a Golos, but we might not be able to play it. I think the responsible thing is to take the land. And I'm going to put the Proving Ground in hand and the blue on the field. Got to be ready to fight counter wars at a moment's notice. Five mana does Golosy things. I mean, they're looking at blue mana. They might be afraid. They go for Time Warp, sure. It's just a Time Warp. Doesn't bother me too much. And there's a Golos. They have 1 mana open, so they might be able to fight. Let them make their decision. Probably World Tree, though. They already have 5 colors available, so it's not like I'm keeping them from having a color they need with the swords on the stack. And the Golos problems begin. All right, they didn't protect Golos there. I feel like they've got something. Not sure if it's reserved for my commander, though. So we're going to have to get a look at this hand. I still don't have a way to counter Golos, though. This is getting really bad. But right now, if they use a Mystical Dispute or anything like that on Niv, like, we are out of this game. Yeah, I had a bad feeling about that. But that's still one of counter Niv. Do I counter this? Right now they're drawing a card, but my Inquisition could whiff anyway, and then I'm down a Swan Song. Still, I think we got to. I think we got to win this fight. We're getting bullied a bit too much. Yeah, I had a feeling we'd whiff there. And now I'm down a Swan Song against the Genesis Ultimatum, so we need to have Bind open. The Chandra's a big problem too. They'll probably just play that. I guess Bind doesn't even work here. Yeah. All right. Well, this has been a disaster. We go first. We do not have red mana for the Helix, but we're up against Esika, which is usually a Prismatic Bridge deck, and we have 2 answers to the bridge, so I'm going to keep. Red is the color that you need the least most of the time. If it's the 5th color you get on the battlefield, that's okay. Cards like Lightning Helix are just barely making the cut as it is, so don't feel too bad with a hand like this. All right, let's put Bind up and hold Duress until next turn. We don't need to be in a rush to Duress our opponent. Or Thoughtseize them. Although I am getting curious what's in that hand. I guess whatever they play next turn we can bind. Yeah, let's Thoughtseize them. Whoa! Whoa, opponent. Whoa! They are in the big Stompy category for this deck. I'm gonna take Waking the Trolls. Duress can get burned down the house. The creatures, I will find ways to deal with the creatures. How's their colors? Right now with a red, a white, and a red-white, they can't play the bridge. How are our colors? We still miss red. Okay, Cultivate fixes it. And to play this first and have Bind available. Just in case they drew a... I don't know. They don't even have counterspell mana. Alright, we needed the red. What else do we need? Double black? Sure. Alright, the Boom Booms are getting ready. And remember, Binding can't kill Vorinclex. Because you can't put the counters on your Sagas while Vorinclex is on the field. So we do have to find a Vorinclex answer. We're only 3 cards in the graveyard away from that working. So let's play Niv. And the Supreme Verdict is a Vorinclex answer, although an extreme one. Thought Erasure, also a Vorinclex answer. Oh my goodness. The Nornia. Much easier to answer, though, than the Vorinclex when you have a binding. And yeah, we have disassembled them completely. And we are back for the post-game wraps, checking on the stats, and yeah, 25-9. Now, this does not count the many games I've also played on my iPad where the deck did very well as well, but without the stats, can't be sure. I'm just sure I won a lot more than I lost. So the deck is definitely a competitor, and when you play it in a kind of slower, more controlling manner, it has answers to everything and incredible card advantage in the command zone. My favorite part is against blue and green, 6-1 over the latest stretch on my PC here, and that is against Kinnan and Uro a good amount of the time, and those are some of the more frustrating commanders to deal with. So if Simic is giving you a hard time, just grind them to dust using Niv-Mizzet Reborn. I hope that you enjoyed the games and you saw some cool ideas for your Niv deck and some interesting ways to play it. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next one. You stayed till the end. That's the best thing you can do for me, but you can also hit like, subscribe, and you can leave me a comment. And all those things, guess what? You're cool. Phyrexia's power continues to grow as it prepares to take over the multiverse and make everything one. All pre-orders for Phyrexia All Will Be One products will sweeten the deal with an all-new exclusive CGB Dragon token. Every single sealed product, commander deck, bundle, everything that's coming with the new set gets upgraded with a CGB token for free. Get your pre-orders in and become complete with Phyrexia All Will Be One. CoolStuffInc.com, cool stuff in stock.